Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married. I always forget like that part. Like, I'm Scott, I'm John, and then what do we say next?
Right, we're married.
We've only done it now, what is this, episode 16, I think?
It is episode 16.
Of the Sweet Tea, No Shade Knitting Podcast. This is not an embroidery podcast.
Yes, but it is going to include embroidery.
That's true. And specifically, I want to thank, who was it that said something? I want to thank Paula Gardner, who commented on our last podcast and said, "Hey Scott, you be nice and encourage John with his embroidery." So John is very happy that he has someone defending his honor.
I don't need encouragement.
That's true.
It is all it has a life of its own.
And believe it or not, the yarn crawl actually added to it.
I know.
So what I thought we'd do today, we're not going to do a lot of in the studio recording in our basement. We've got a lot of clips from the shop hop that we're going to show. So we just had this weekend the Minnesota Yarn Shop Hop 2018. And so we've got a lot of clips from that.
This is what we got.
And we're surrounded by our goodies that we acquired.
Which actually, when it's put out on a table like this, I feel like we didn't completely lose our minds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly not a small amount of stuff.
So many exciting things.
Yeah. Like, I look at all this stuff and I'm like, oh.
I mean, this is a sweaters quantity.
Right.
That's why it's mounted up.
That's the mountain of the... But everything else I'm really happy about. Like, I don't see anything that I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't bought that.
Right.
So, it was really a lot of fun, as you will see.
Yes. So, but one thing, so as you guys who've watched for a while probably know, I'm always coming up with, and we're going to do our podcast this way from now on. Like, we're going to have baking segments everything, and, that is my personality. I get excited, enthusiastic about things. And so, this is something I'm going to hope to continue doing. But so, in order to kind of, continue the community. These things are about to fall off. It's driving me crazy. To encourage the community part of it, because that's the whole reason why I wanted to do the podcast and why I asked John and everything to do this was because I want to connect with other knitters. And so I was trying to do a really good job of responding to or acknowledging in some way all the comments on all of our videos, but I thought, you know what? I wish I could talk to these people. I wish I could talk to each individual one and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And that's not realistic. So I thought what we do is kind of try to have that conversation here. So I think that just to encourage the community part of it, I thought this might be a fun way to...
Well, it's more fun to like you when you're on your iPhone, like I am, because I don't do YouTube at work, like you're sort of typing away with your thumbs. This kind of lets you respond a little more fully.
And I know that when I'm watching a YouTuber, whether it's a knitting show or otherwise, I'm like, I'm not going to comment on this because they're never going to read it.
Right.
And so my goal is that, like, I want you guys to know, not only do we read them all, but, like, let's have a conversation. Right. And this is one attempt at that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because, yeah. So what I'm going to try to do is... In the start of each episode, I'm going to try to like have a conversation about some of the cool comments that we got from the previous episode. So
that being said, we can't respond to every one of Betty Ann's comments.
We can't respond to one of every Betty Ann's
comments
because
it would take the whole podcast.
And Betty Ann is mean. She's the meanest mother I've ever had. Mm-hmm. She's also the nicest mother I've ever had. Now, I'm trying to come up with some way to make a dig at Betty Ann, and my dig at Betty Ann is not landing. It's not landing. I'm not with it today. So yeah. I'll come up with some way to make a dig at her later.
You can actually put a dig in on the here's the dig I meant to do a little.
Right. So there's a few things. The comments from last episode seem to kind of group into categories. So I thought that'd be fun. First of all, we got a lot of compliments on our bow ties and our outfits from last time. Specifically, where did I put it? Fat Girl Sewing, who I believe that I think that she's the one that has a really cool oh, I feel bad, but she's like an Etsy. She has an Etsy shop, Yarn Dyer makes project bags. If I'm remembering, if that's the same person, that's really awesome. But anyway, she liked the bow ties, and several people mentioned them. But you can tell that I'm a little inconsistent in that I went to my "You Can't Sit With Us" t-shirt, so from a bow tie. John still looks presentable, but. So then another thing that we need to be worried about from the comments is the fact that this is quickly becoming the junior show after last episode.
And we cut a lot of his material.
Did we?
He was up there for a good, like...
Oh, that's right. We couldn't get him down.
We're like, come on, go down. So, like, we, even with heavy editing...
He still stole the show. Stole the show, because it was Deb Alb, Melissa from the High Fiber podcast, how do you say that one? Devine, one, Heather Cather, Laura Malley, Emma LaHowe. I'm not saying these right because I don't know how you pronounce it.
We got a lot of comments
Rena
on Junior.
Hamlin. All these people commented about the cat, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take that personally, that it needs to become the junior show. Speaking of which, I think they're both upstairs on the bed.
Yeah, so we're safe.
I'm not going to try to steal the show. Okay, then there was a discussion about the swatch demo that I did. And I'm glad that I got the feedback, because another thing out of this YouTube thing is to learn. And so, as I mentioned, I had watched the Craftsy show with the Grocery Girls, where they did that. And there were several people, there were 3 people specifically. So the Professor SF, and then Susan Marston, and then John Boy NY in New York, I'm assuming, who wrote me a message on Ravelry, all pointed out that the swatching that way and not knitting and then purling back is really if you want to swatch in the round. Like
yeah, that makes sense.
In the round, which makes sense, but it kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit because I was all excited to not have to purl.
But you knit almost everything you... I mean, when was the last time you did a flat project?
Yeah, I don't knit things flat very often, I guess. That's a good point. Well, I do things... I guess Magic Loop is still in the round, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because most things are in the round.
One of the comments talked about knitting backwards.
Yeah, that was a very pink... I think that was...
Yeah.
Let me get to that person's comment. I think that was Susan Marston.
Right, which...
No, it wasn't her.
Maybe it was... I can't remember. Someone...
Oh, it was Patrick Hart. He said, "Great. Another option for swatching is to knit across and then knit backwards. Very Pink Knit has a tutorial on YouTube."
Yeah, which looks...
I'm not sure what that means to knit backwards.
So I
Is that where you turn the fabric?
No. This is where you... Alright, and I'm not going to say it correctly because I watched the video. I was reading this at work.
Not at work.
I know. And I might have put the tutorial on without the sound on. So
the Very Pink Knits one?
Yeah, I think. So you basically are... It's really weird. It's like you're going... So you're doing flat, and then you sort of knit... You knit, and then you do backwards knit stitches and move from the left to right.
I'm going to have to watch the video.
There's even backwards purling.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Okay.
But
so
yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
Good to know. That's a kind of cool thing to know about.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I'm probably going to get feedback on this, which is fine, but I feel like it's not going to be that different.
Well, I mean, if you're doing something like a sweater, right?
Yeah.
And it makes, like, a little tiny difference.
Blown out over 300 stitches.
I mean, that's like, I'm
stitches.
swatching for that sweater vest right now, and I'm trying to get really close to it because if you're a little off, that can be...
You need to knit the way you're... Or, excuse me, you need to swatch the way you're knitting. Knit. So,
right.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, my main goal for doing that was to do my first demo, and I had not done a demo before, and I certainly don't feel that I'm in a position to be teaching anybody anything, only having been knitting seriously for about a year and a half, well, a year and 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so, having said that, it's fun to do, and I think people enjoy it. So that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did it. It was almost like I just kind of wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do a demo.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I forget. I want to reference someone specifically who said. Sorry, just a second here. Catherine McGrath. Oh, Catherine McGrath. She just commented a couple hours ago. She said, the demo was great. I had watched the Craftsy episode on this and it was too fast for me. So I thought that was nice. So, anyway, that was about the swatch. What else? Patrick Hart. Oh, that was the one we just talked about, how he had talked about how you can knit backwards. So another topic, there's a couple specific things that I wanted to respond to. First of all, Paula Gardner asked us, clip-on or tied with our bow ties?
Tied.
Definitely tied.
Yeah. Which is more, so we don't wear bow ties that often.
We used to wear them a lot.
Well, because we used to perform a lot in them.
Oh, that's right.
So we used to be in a small group ensemble, and
ensemble.
the costume for that was we'd wear it tucked with tied bow ties. So I haven't really worn a bow tie in about a year. No, whatever.
Not quite that long.
So we had to get out there's this really amazing tutorial with this like British guy who does it and walks it through, and he's really great. But I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's a YouTube video, and he's got like a bajillion views.
Right,
I hope he got something from that.
Yeah,
because it's like the whole world who needs to learn how to tie bow ties watched it.
It's the best one.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. There's a couple more that are up there, but
yeah, but
he's
that
really
gets reloaded, and I really like. It's funny, we were looking for.
It's not easy to do. I found
it's not easy to do, but like, the clip-on bow ties, and I think they're like, because I always buy like the really kind of funny ones with like cool patterns. It's hard to find. There's more of a range of patterns, I think, in the tied bow ties too.
Yeah, and I like the way that they don't look perfect, because when you wear a clip-on or whatever, they're perfect. You know? And I like it looks like you tied a bow around it. I like that.
Little futzy.
And then, Paula Gardner also mentioned the Love, Simon movie. We have seen that.
We have.
And if people out there haven't seen it, it's a great movie. It was a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read the book, but it's a great kind of mainstream.
It's a very sweet
story.
movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
We might have seen it, and there might have been a lot of sniffling in the theater.
My God. It was like the whole theater was like
the whole time.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty funny. And David Dogdare, who has a great podcast himself, said that we needed to get matching bow ties for the cats. I'm not doing any encouragement of them getting on camera because...
That being said, so we have 2 cats. And this is not a cat podcast, but it's important when they come up. So, Linus, I don't know if it's because he is just lazy.
He's big boned.
We have a little bell collar on him. It's really cute. He wears without complaint. Junior, you put anything else around, he's like... So, we could probably get Linus to wear a bow tie, but Junior would not have it.
No, he would not.
So,
and then I wanted to give a shout out to Chevy Rell. She talked about the fact that she had a house where they had a black walnut tree and a mulberry tree, which I've never been around a mulberry tree, but she said that the fruit would fall, there'd be flies, constant flies from the rotting fruit, and then their dog would eat them after they kind of fermented in the backyard, and the dog would get drunk from the rotten fruit in the backyard.
Wow. Because mulberries is what make gin out of. No. Was that juniper?
That's juniper.
Never mind.
I bet there's alcohol made out of... Somebody's made alcohol.
I'm sure there's mulberry wine.
Yeah. Or mulberry something.
Yeah. Liqueur.
Naughty Thistle liked your dressing like a gay professor comment. And then what else? Thank you to Susan Carroll. She was very positive. Oh, and then Kim Kaz commented, asked where you got the project bag that your Tesserino cow is in, and I saw that you mentioned that it was bought at the Fuzzy Goat, but does it have like the name of the maker in it? Through the magic of television,
Right.
the bag has appeared.
Yeah, it is. Because she doesn't... I looked on her site after I responded to that and realized she wasn't selling this bag anymore. But it's from Fluff.
Floof?
Probably just Fluff. That's Canadian, not...
That was just funny.
So, FLUF, and they're www.fluf.ca.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that company, so...
It's a fun bag. I really like it, and it's very sturdy. So, the one thing that's a little tricky about it is it's got a zipper on top, and sometimes the yarn, when you have it open, gets caught between the teeth of the zipper. So, anyhow.
Karen Hash like the teapot,
Yay.
which is nice. Thank you. So then OSOS, we've talked about her before.
Is she
She's
operating
been
system
watching
operating
operating system.
Is that really what it is?
No.
Okay.
It's something her husband like teased her about or something.
Okay.
I can't remember the story, but she's been commenting. I think since the first episode, she always has great comments. But she mentioned the Chevy Rel podcast as well, that she really liked it, and that she said there was a really funny episode that we need to watch. But and then she mentioned another podcaster called Hand Me Down's Crochet.
Okay.
Who's a former monk in Oxford.
Oh.
So we'll have to
Another.
Hand Me Down's Crochet and Knit.
Okay.
So I'll have to check that.
So
one
another
out.
monk knitting podcast.
Yeah, because what's the one?
I don't remember. I've only watched
It's
it.
probably like the Knitting Monk or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I can't remember what his podcast is, but there's another one that we like. Thank you to Mary Ann Harlow. She gave us good feedback about the things that she specifically likes in the episodes, which is nice because it encourages us to continue to do that. And okay, so John Boy in NY, John Boy New York, he wrote, I hope this doesn't come across as pedantic, #gasp, #Jocelyn Fox. Okay, John Boy New York, between you and me, you know that Jocelyn Fox does not know the word pedantic. If we remember anything from... What was it that she was...
She's the black horse.
Oh yeah, instead of saying the dark horse, she was the black horse in the competition. Anyway, loved the note. So, anyway, thank you to everybody who comments. We love the comments. And we're going to continue to have a conversation about the comments. So, all right. So, we have our our goodies around us.
Right. It's like Christmas in April.
And there's a counterbalancing deduction from our banking account.
Right. It's magic.
Corresponds to Christmas.
Santa gives, but he also, runs up your credit.
And so let's just run through. We didn't talk about doing this, but I just came to
sure.
Let's run through some of the things that really jumped out at us. Like we learned about knitted wit yarns.
Oh yeah. So this you'll probably notice this as the podcast. I independently bought like 3 things of knitted wit of their yarn. Apparently I really like their yarn.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
When you buy yellow, no matter what you put with it, I'm going to be able to come up with something that's going to make you not want to knit with yellow.
I know.
And I'm trying not to do that, but John put it with purple, and I'm like, oh, that's the Vikings color, which is the local football team here. And then I was
my God, red is going to be University of Minnesota.
Red's going to be University of Minnesota.
Shite.
Black is going to be a bumblebee.
Green is going to be...
Well, so if you knit green with green, remember when you were growing up and everybody said green and yellow, green and yellow?
Yeah.
GAY for gay. It was the way people would tease you. It was green and yellow meant gay. They were like, oh, you're green and yellow. It was like something little stupid kids on the playground would say.
I missed that particular piece of...
funness.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'll be fine. You'll find something, I promise.
Yeah.
So John got a sweater's quantity of Cascade 220 for a sweater.
Mm-hmm.
I got an ombre thing I want to do some ombre stuff with. We got a couple project bags.
I got naughty stitch markers.
Oh God, and I can't. This is from, and I talk about this in the clips, but it's I think it's interlacement, Interlacements Presents Michigan. I have no idea what the company, if that's the company name or what, but it's 1,100 yards of fingering weight yarn. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I'm obsessed with it. I just want to like touch it, and yeah, I got to figure out if anybody has any idea of what I could probably do a shawl or oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do a Geonitrix design, which is
sort of an knitter.
Sort of a knitter. Is it Jonathan Reichs-Rabinski?
Josh.
I don't know where I was getting Jonathan from. Josh Reichs-Rabinski. Shawl. He makes a lot of shawls that look good on men that can be worn around the neck and stuff. And I'm probably going to try to find a pattern that would work for this. But. Yep. All right. Well, we're going to now insert clips from the 2 days that we did the shop hop, and we will be back almost in the future. Yeah,
maybe even next week, because
well, the knit along that we're doing is going to be coming to a close on April 30th.
Right.
That's the information's on Ravelry for that in our group, the Sweet Tea No Shade group.
Yep.
Thing.
So.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Enjoy the clips.
Enjoy the shop hop.
Hi guys, it's Scott. I don't have John with me yet. He is still at work, but we are getting ready to start our Minnesota Shop Hop Experience 2018. I'm just in my car. There's snow everywhere. It's 20 degrees. It was 25 in April. Last year it was much warmer than this. I don't remember what it was like last year, but it was much warmer than this. But we're going to have fun nonetheless, and so we're going to give you updates as we go. So keep watching. Hi, John.
Are you going to go yarn shopping?
What
yarn
are you doing?
hopping? We're in the
sock
hop.
How was your day at work?
It was fine.
Are you cold?
It's very cold out.
It's very cold out. Okay, which store are we going to first?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's figure that out. And then we'll be back for an update.
Okay, great.
Okay, we've got store number 1 completed. Yay. So we've got our passports to show.
Where did we go?
Well, I'm going to show. Hold that up first of all. So they gave everybody a nice little folder, and we are right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I could go a little closer. The Yarnery in St. Paul. They gave us a passport, and they stamp them off as we go. And then we got each store you get a pattern, which this was a baby sweater and a shawl. And then last year they did pins. This year they're doing charms, and I can't find the charms. So John was a big spender. I didn't buy anything in this store.
I got big old cable needles because I need them for a shawl that I'm doing, and a pin cushion. So yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, here's the little charm. Oh, it's too bright. It's a little bead.
What are you gonna do with those?
I don't know. I don't have a charm bracelet. We'll find something to do with it. Put it on a piece of yarn and hang it on a project bag.
Yay!
Alrighty, so
We're
that's
going to
done. And then the theme this year is heroes.
Right.
And I think their hero was like people who stand up for social justice and equality.
Right.
And you had to write a name on a piece of paper and stick it to a board, and we didn't do it.
Right.
Because we're bad people.
Well, you know, I think it's important that you don't single out people like individually. I think
I'm not putting this in the video. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys a quick shot of where it is, and then we'll be off to the next one. So this is Grand Avenue in St. Paul, which is a cool place, and right there, is that it?
I think
so. So this little you guys can't see my finger pointing at it, but the little cream colored house, of course all the cars want to go in front of me now, the little cream colored house right here is the Yarnery. So that was fun. Okay, we have done the Yarnery, and then we've gone up to Knit and Bolt,
which is right over there.
Oh yeah, which is right over there.
Past the Hollywood sign.
Past the chow mein place. Knit and bolt. So, now we're going to needle and skein and potentially Lakeside Yarn. Oh, it might be nice to have dinner out in Excelsior.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
All right, so John, well, and so I will show you guys what I bought. I'm again not the main shopper for this adventure, for this stop. I got this Dia de los Muertos bag, sugar skull thing with the knitting stuff. Last shop hop I bought a Dia de los Muertos. I feel like I'm finally saying that correctly. Dia de los Muertos bag on the shop hop. So maybe that's going to become a tradition. So I bought that. And then John,
My is two parts. So I did the Knit and Bolt as like a fabric shop, and it's where I took my embroidery class. So I got a Stitches at a Glance embroidery book.
Cool.
Yay! And then I got some Dias de los Muertos iron-on, so I can make some Dias de los Muertos on our bags. So we'll have more Dias de los Muertos project bags. And then we got these, which are kind of like kitchen-y things.
Turn it right side.
Oh, sorry.
That's fair.
Kitchen designs.
I want John to do little things and we can frame them and hang them in the kitchen.
I know. It'll be super, super craftsy. And then I got some embroidery floss, and these are fruit salad. So it's a bunch of different flosses that kind of have the same color
Tone.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the embroidery part of it. Yay! And then I also got, because I have a pattern sweater that I was buying stuff for,
I'll put a picture of the sweater in.
Yeah, sure. So I got...
So you're buying for a project. Can you scooch back a bit?
So these... This is going to be... So it's a Colorworks cardigan. And this is going to be the main color and the contrasting color.
The body of the sweater.
Yeah. And then this will be...
Woo!
The rim... The edge. Edge. What's the word for that? There's a word for that.
I don't think it's fringe.
It's not fringe. Edge. I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're sitting. I don't know what this place is that we're sitting out in front of, but I just noticed they have a spoon carving class coming up.
That's crazy. All right. So good haul.
Yay! Okay.
So this is my big expensive like pattern I'm shopping for. So now I can just buy knickknacks.
Cool. All right, so we are, like I said, we're going to needle and skein next.
Yay!
I had to start the video. So it's the end of day one.
Day one.
And we've gotten 3 stores done.
Yes.
Out of 15, I think.
Yes.
And so
I've already blown through my budget. Like, easily. Easily.
You bought everything that you said you were going to buy.
Yes.
So
we went to Needle and Skein
in St. Louis Park, and so I was manipulated by John into buying Lionheart, aka Gryffindor, knitted wit victory sock. It's blowing out, but it's 80% superwash, 20% nylon. So I'm super excited about that. It's Lionheart. Can I show that? Yeah, Lionheart. And then I got the Vogue Knitting Ultimate Uber Knitting Guide. Yes. I love books. So I got that.
It's got a section on interlock and brioche. Interlock is like the next thing I want to learn how to do.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
It's where you do these like weird squares and triangles with each other. It's super cool.
Fun. Okay,
Yay.
So that's what I got.
Yay. What I got was, so they had a pattern, and it is, and I don't want to show the pattern, so it's Truth and Justice gloves.
Gauntlets.
Wonder Woman gauntlets. So yay.
Yay.
The kit for that, so it's going to make little mitts like Wonder Woman. And then, so I was trying to buy for this shawl I want to make, Stephen West shawl. And so this
What's the name of the shawl?
The Doodler. So, so this is copper corgi, so this is my base thing, and then I got this to go with it.
And they were obsessed with the copper corgi.
And this
stuff.
to go with it. So it's going to be cray-cray.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Well, yeah, it's Stephen West.
Right, so...
One thing that they're doing this year... So last year what they did is you got a tote, and you got... Wait, did we not get a tote this year? I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then at each store you got a pin that you put on the tote. And this year they're giving us little beads.
Maybe
if
you get the tote that makes sense.
I wish that they were, but you can't tell what store you got which one's at. I don't like that.
Right.
There's nothing unique about the stores. So, oh well. I'll have a bunch of beads when I'm done. I think my mom has a charm bracelet she could maybe put them on or something, but I don't particularly care for that decision. Just put my 2 cents in there, and you've got the third bead in here, I think.
Yes.
So, all right, so we're done for the day.
Yay.
And then not by choice, but by the fact that it's 6 o'clock and all the stores are closing. So then tomorrow we're going to try to get a big chunk done, and then we're going to have to do some on Sunday too, I think.
Yep.
So, all right.
All right, bye.
See you again soon. What's going on, John? Oh, shoot. What's going on, John?
We are driving to Three Kittens, something.
Needle
yarn shop.
Arts. Three Kittens Needle Arts. It is day 2 of the Minnesota Shop Hop.
Yay!
2018. So we are on our way to Three Kittens Needle Arts, and we're going to do the East Metro today. See how far we can get.
Right. We may do it all, but we're reserving the right to do some tomorrow too.
Yes. Yeah, and I need a Diet Coke real bad.
I know, he will not stop talking about it.
I don't understand why I don't have a Diet Coke yet. So I was knitting in a coffee shop this morning and working on my Cal for the Cal, the Sweet Tea Cal.
Hashtag Sweet Tea
Hashtag Sweet Tea Cal. And I ran out of yarn and didn't have a second skein caked up. How does that happen?
Poor planning.
Excuse me. Who are you to judge?
Yeah.
It was like my world was ending, so I had to sit there without being able to knit. So anyway, and also I lost a cable needle, so we're gonna have to get more cable needles today. That's just too bad. So anyway,
it's too bad we're not going anywhere we can get that.
I know, right? Okay, more to come.
Yay! Bye.
Okay, crisis averted. I have a Diet Coke.
I have a coffee.
I have a Super Sipper Diet Coke. So that way I don't murder anyone. All right, so we just went to Three Kittens Needle Arts.
Yay!
Which was fun. And, okay, so last year I bought a...
Day of the Dead.
Dia de los Muertos knitting bag. And come to find out, or project bag, and come to find out the woman who made it is an employee at that store, but she wasn't there today. So... I bought another. We each bought one, right?
Yep.
Of her project bags again. Well, I got a Doctor Who one.
I got an Evil Queen one. It's got Disney.
Yeah, let's hold it. So
yeah,
you
it's
can
kind of
see.
hard to
So
say.
that's
Maleficent, and it's got Cruella de Vil, and it's got the Evil Queen from Snow White. So basically, it was made for me.
That's true, because you're an evil queen.
Yes. And then got some cable needles.
I got some cable needles.
Oh, and I don't know if you can see them. I got some stitch markers with curse words on them.
Oh yeah.
So
don't look, children. If there's children, don't look.
Yeah.
They're funny because
They're funny. That's how I knit.
John says bad words a lot when he knits. Okay. And then I got another stupid bead for the stupid beads. I don't get the... Yay, I got another bead. You can't tell where it came from. But whatever.
We'll make something for Betty Ann and she'll love it.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, well, so next we're going to Knitting from the Heart, which is in Woodbury, Minnesota, and it's where my friend Sonia is supposed to be working. It's her local yarn shop, and she's
You may
supposed to be
recall
working.
her from Sweet Tea No Shade, episode 3.
Episode 3, that's right.
Hello.
All right, Knitting from the Heart. Done.
Yay.
Woodbury, Minnesota. So I bought... You didn't buy anything,
No,
right?
I didn't.
I bought this ombre kit. There's a pattern for a shawl. I'm blocking your face.
That's okay.
There's a pattern for a shawl. But I won't do the shawl with this probably. I've been looking for a mini skein set like this that I'm going to do some ombre... Like a mitten, like mittens or something where it's the one color is an ombre and the other color is solid. I like that effect. So I'm going to use that.
Cool.
And then I've been looking for one of these. It's double pointed needle keeper.
Oh.
Yeah. So can you hold this and I'll
Yes.
take it out? So most people probably, well, some people might have seen these before, but basically, I forget there's a podcaster who uses these all the time. Or I think Cody uses. But basically, you tuck your double pointed needles with your sock coming out up here, and then when you snap them, the snaps hold the double pointed needles in and they don't fall out because it's closed on the ends as well. So I have been wanting one of these and I never got one, so now I've got one. And I think that's it. So next we're going to
Darn It Anyway
in Stillwater, Minnesota. That's a bit of a drive from where we're at, so we're going to head there. It's one of my favorites in the Twin Cities, and so we'll film from there. Bye. So we're driving to Stillwater, and this on the horizon, that's the Mississippi. No, that's the St. Croix River. This is the river that divides the state of Minnesota from the state of Wisconsin, and it's not supposed to be frozen still. And I guess technically there's no real date when it's supposed to be thawed, but I just wish it was thawed by now. Here's a shot of the marina with all the boats wrapped up for the winter. Nobody's taking out those anytime soon. Here's another good shot of the bridge spanning the St. Croix, which that land on the other side is the state of Wisconsin. Oh yeah, that's a good view of it. So John and I are planning to stop for lunch in Stillwater. It's because they have lots of cool places to eat. Oh, we're just entering Stillwater now. And so we will film some more in a bit. Alright, so although John and I are not stopping at the yarn store yet, we're going to actually eat. Yeah, you can park in here. That brick building right there is where the yarn store is, and you can see it's a cute little town tucked into the hill here.
It is aggressively picturesque.
Aggressively. Oh, there's some steamboats that you can ride on in a big yacht. All right, you have to bear with us because one of us had a margarita that was very strong at lunch. It was a very strong margarita. And
Don't worry, kids, I'm driving.
Yes, he's driving, and it did not influence my purchases at all. Okay, so, first of all, we have discovered Knitted Wit. Knitted Wit?
Knitted Wit.
Oh my god.
It's so pretty. So it is bulky yarn, and look at that. It's so amazing.
And that's not even the craziest one.
Right, I wanted to buy the melted crayon, which was just...
Well, what's this one called?
This one's called Enchanted Forest, which was actually the most boring colorway name. Like, there was Unicorn Dreams, Unicorn Nightmares, Pre-Existing Condition.
I don't know what that means.
Loved it. So anyway, I am now obsessed with this dyer. I'm going to stalk them on Ravelry or whatever
Instagram.
And buy everything they have.
I did tag her. I took pictures of you looking at the yarn and tagged her on Instagram. So
yeah,
so that's what John bought. This
it was like on the floor, and I just walked by and I just like.
Yeah, and I can't switch the camera around, but I already showed the brick building. This was the one in Stillwater called
Darn
Knit Anyway. Well,
Darn Knit Anyway.
Yeah, Darn Knit, and then with parentheses Anyway. And it's one of our favorite stores when we drive up here. It's like a 45-minute drive, and we come up here anyway because we love this store. And the people are so great. So John's gonna hold the camera now while I show mine. So I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this, but I couldn't deal. So it's okay. So I hate John. I'm the one that had the marks. John, seriously, I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Okay, go.
I'm angry at my cameraman. Okay, so this is the skein of your. Oh, look, it fits in the camera when you hold it still. So it's not. It's 1,100 yards of. I think it's fingering weight, but it's
hand dyed.
Hand dyed by Tracy Shue. Interlacements presents Michigan. I have no idea what any of that means. The colorway is margarita. Turkish carpet is the name of the colorway. I can't.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
As the grocery girls would say, I can't even. It's just, and I can't stop touching it. It's so soft and. Okay, and then I've been wanting some of these for a while. They're the Knitter's Pride blocking things that are really good with lace or whatever.
Oh, I've seen those in people's pictures.
Yeah, so I went ahead and bought some of these. So I'm not going to do anything but hold this yarn and touch it. So.
Well, we have a long way to the next one, so you've got plenty of time.
And I need another Diet Coke.
All right, well...
My Diet Coke is almost out, so I need another one.
Okay.
Okay, we will... So next one is... We got to do two...
Lila and Claudines.
Lila and Claudines, and then Sheepy U shop,
right.
I think. And those are both in the Stillwater area. I mean, the White Bear Lake area. So we're going to go to those. All right, so we just finished... I just recorded a bunch and didn't ever hit record. So we just finished up at Lila and Claudines, which is right there. And we're in Matamidi, Minnesota. So it's getting near the end of the day. We're running out of time. We've got about an hour left that things are going to be open. And John, did you buy anything cool?
I got some yarn, some Morning Sunset from Trippin' with Dixie Fiber Company, which is
her sister, the yarn store shop's sister.
So it's
what color is that? I can't tell.
It's very yellow. And yellow is not my favorite color for stuff, but I just loved how friggin' bright this is.
Yeah. And I got a
candle.
I got a candle and some socks, but yeah, so all right. Well, it's like this. John and I had a discussion. We're tired.
And it turns out the limit does exist.
Yes, as Katie Heron in Mean Girls would not agree with us. The limit does exist.
We're in a McDonald's parking lot.
We're in a McDonald's parking lot. I'm not eating McDonald's because I don't have the metabolism of a hummingbird.
Fries and chocolate chip.
I'm having a Diet Coke. So we've decided to call it quits for the day, which we were planning to do anyway after one more shop. And then we were like, do we really need to go to the 6 other shops tomorrow? And I think we would if we had unlimited funds. But because we don't have unlimited funds...
And our budget, like my sticking to budget, it's just not happening. I have no self-control.
And we bought some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And we've been to our favorite shops.
Right. I mean, there are a couple that we're going to miss that I'm going to be sad about, but...
We're going to go to Stephen B's tomorrow.
Right. That'll be our final shop. But, I mean, and we'll do a whole, like, layout of everything we bought. So you'll see that we have gotten enough.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, John's going to sit here and eat his fries in front of me. And we're going to go home and watch a movie or something. So, all right. You will see more in just a minute.